made you. It's me in the corner. Yeah, so this is my pal Wayne's guitar, which I picked up from a guy in Motherwell, handmade in London, and I can't remember, we were doing something or going away or something. I just never really got a proper chance to have a proper look at it. It's heavy, but it's handmade. But looking at it, I wasn't sure, is it like a kit or something like that? It's not. I mean, look at the wood the neck's made of. Actually, you get some zoom in sort of troggly type guitar portage going on here. It's like mad flambe metal. The reason I don't know it's not it doesn't have spots on the edge of the fingerboard, which I find an unacceptable thing. But that means it makes it handmade. It's got Gotoh tuners. You can see, I don't know if is it going to show up. There's sort of crackling there. It's obviously a nitro neck. I don't think it's not a good enough camera. And then it's got like a not book matched maple cap on it with reveal binding. I'd be tempted to think that is just the cap is that thick on the top of the guitar, and then that'll be mahogany, I would think. Looking to see. I reckon that's a line in the middle there. I reckon that's a line. So I think we're at I think it's maybe a 2-piece body. So not a lightweight thing, but so the pickups are Kent Armstrong, which kind of didn't surprise me because that's what you often get in like handmade guitars. But they were sounded far too in your face and bright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a coil split in it. It really knows it. It feels it needs it because it's just so brash. It's like the sort of pickups you'd expect to find in, like, I don't know, like a BC Rich Warlock or something. Not what you want a telly. You want the ability to do something a bit less. So there you go. Well, I'm going to assume that those are the tappy wires. There we go, easy. And then which one is the? Right, so that's the. I'm going to tap both of them, so I don't really even need to know which one's which pickup. So it doesn't really matter. What basically I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the tone pot with a push-pull pot. I'm going to make sure it fits first. Pretty easy to do. And basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to run both the pickups. So when you pull it up, it earths them out and gives you 2 single coils. That's basically what I'm going to do. I'm using a A500. Ideally it would be a 250, but well, there's humbuckers in it, so A500 is fine. I would say yeah, it's a B500. A B250 is a tone. That says B250 on it. You know, I'm using a B250 as a tone. Maybe that's why it wasn't sounding very good, rather than actually not having coil splits. Right, so I need to take off these. These have got these stupid screws on them, don't they? And if I was weighing, this guitar, the poker chip and the colour of this doesn't let it down. I don't like the knobs either. I would change them to something a bit more fantastic. It does have this totally cool Scholler bridge, like roller, very like the one on my Schecter P bass actually. And I was trying to work out what this screw is. That screw is kind of like I don't know if you can see it there. It's just like a blade screwdriver. It's, if you imagine it like that, but the bit in the middle is not in the middle. So see, when you turn it, the whole thing squeezes in or out, and basically what it does is it clamps all the saddles together. So if you undo it, it's like the bit at the top's not where the centre is. The centre of it's kind of off to the side. So when you turn it, it's kind of like it goes in like an egg-shaped orbit. Pretty cool. Did take a while to work out what the hell it was for though. I was going to take this knob off. I can't see because the light from that thing. You're looking at, that's too bright. There we go. Getting at it. There you go. Right, I would change those knobs. Good for some things, but not for this guitar. It's amazing the differences these things make. And I'll use that super thing that David gave me. This tool of, oh, that's not even finger tight. take that. I'm just going to make sure that sometimes the guitars like this needs because it's going through the wood. I'm not sure whether the shaft is long enough. You got to check, make sure the shaft's long enough on your if you're putting another pot in. I'm going to take a guess and say yes, it's totally fine. I suppose actually quite good with those knobs. I just said I didn't like they do. See if make sure there's enough room for it to poke through. Can I get at it? Oh, plenty of room. Plenty of room. Might even need to put a washer in it. Yep. So just take that out. That does say B500K on, doesn't it? There was a B250. You wonder. B500, right? I wonder why they use a B. Is it B? Using a B250? That's a Strat volume control. Why is it in this? Mind you, it might not necessarily be original, or maybe I don't think that wouldn't make, regardless of what that pot is, it wouldn't make it sound the way that I'm describing it, being a bit harsh and brash and too in your face and sounds like it's just punching you. But I think it might just because it's got really really hot pickups in it. But splitting them down to single coils would make it fantastic. I'll see which coils it splits down to and whether it's actually worthwhile trying to get it the inner or outer coils. I don't know if it really makes that much difference, to be honest. But it is Wayne's guitar, so I should probably do it properly. I'm going to go down and see him during the week. That's why these videos are going to be higgledy-piggledy, and some of them are going to be like, why are you doing a video on that? And it's like, well, just because it's Monday, I was sitting... It doesn't look like my car's going to be getting fixed anytime soon. Got that to deal with. I'm just giving all these a bit of a scratch with the solder to stick to. Obviously I'm going to tin everything first, and this is the tone control, so I'll be scratching a wee bit here on the side of the tone so I can save a wire by soldering this lug, or soldering the capacitor straight on there. Right, I suppose I'll tin this up first. My forceps, they were quite useful for things, weren't they? Found these on the beach at Knockfine. 99% sure it was Alf Roberts, who was a doctor who used to, I think, probably used to do a lot of fishing, so he'd be messed about with fishing tackle. I assume that's why I found them on the beach. But for me it was like pure, yeah, cool. When I was like 8, forceps, they'll be useful for something someday. They were. They're handy for holding things and use them as a heat sink so I don't melt things. Only being a tone control, I don't need to do that. I just need to do that one and that one. I do still have one other bit to do, but that's the... Why am I holding it using the forceps? Just because I've got them. This side, I'll put a wee bit on. Just there. Right, I'll put a wee bit on the top, even though I'm not 100% sure I'm going to put an earth wire to that. We'll see. We'll see. Right. That's that. Right, and then take the pot that's already in there out. Oh, also interestingly, it's that's 50s wiring, which it will no longer be having. So that 50s stupid wiring, not a good idea, I don't think. I much prefer working on someone I know's guitar or random strangers, because Wayne will be like, yeah, totally do it. It's like I wouldn't normally put. Well, I've actually done it quite a few times, putting switches into people's guitars without their knowledge. It was always a pleasant surprise. The good thing about a push-pull pot is you can ignore it. Oh. It's always good when you sell a guitar and then, hey, you got on with the guitar, oh, it's great, blah, 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 and then it's like a couple of days later. And yeah, you tried pulling up the volume control yet? It's like, pure what? I've made it do something. Right, so there's, I don't even know what kind of cap that is. Oh, it's a 0.22. There you go. Just use it. It looks more expensive than the wee normal one, so it must be better if it looks more expensive. That's what I really need to do. I just need to run that to that, so I don't need no extension bits on. This looks like it might have come out of something else anyway, because it's I don't need that. Is that just soldering that? No. I'm just gonna just do this while it's out. Probably zoom in a wee bit more actually. More topical stuff, probably better on wood so I don't set fire to that dust cloth. Right, so what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and put this as neatly as possible on between that and that, so just sitting flat like that, I'll probably do it. And then I'm just going to put that through there, and then just try and keep it as neat as I can. I've already tinned that, so it should just go in through that hole nicely. Oh. It didn't work quite as well as I hoped it would. I want it to be up a bit. I don't know how zoomed in that camera will go. I really managed to. Really, it's comedy, just not quite long enough. It's like I'm having to try and get like an extra millimetre off of this end just to make it reach the bit that I soldered it to there, like that. Oh dear. Maybe it did need that extended bit. There's one end on. Yeah. That's in and on. And then I'll do is just running the tone to that. So I suppose when I pull it up, Dudunk connects it to these two, so these two should go to earth, so I might as well put that earth wire in here. I just do that quite sneakily with a bit of guitar string. If I can find a bit of guitar string, I'm going to do that, because I like using bits of guitar string for wiring. Look, so I can just pop that through there, bang bang, and then put it onto the same earth down there, which makes it all earth and all done. But I quite like using grotty bits of old guitar bits strings, just because it's quite neat. Didn't actually tin the wire that time to do it, but that's fine. So all this is doing is earthing the two pickups, the two tap wires. Well, all this bit's doing is all I'm doing is disconnecting both these terminals to earth. One will be one pickup and one will be the other. And what I didn't do was I should have tinned the guitar string before I did it. So that's why I'm having all sorts of problems here. So you can still things to be learned from doing things wrong. See, now I've just ended up with a big blobs of solder and it's refusing to stick, and oh, nightmare. See, ideally that wouldn't be like that. I'm just gonna. So there you go. I thought I was gonna get away with it, but no. I'm gonna have to tin the end of this wire before I try and stick it through, because that's what happens when you don't. That's why everyone has a problem with trying to solder. You got to break surface tension on this thing to make it actually accept solder. See, now there's solder actually sticking to it. So now I can actually poke it through and it will stick to the terminals, because I had tinned the terminals, just not tinned the wire going through yet. So this time it will totally go through and be super good. Obviously also super difficult to poke a wire through a hole it doesn't want to go through. put it on this side just because. Oh, as usual, making something that takes 5 minutes take half an hour just by trying to be stupid and using a guitar string rather than just using a piece of wire, which would have already been done by now and everything would have been sorted. But no, 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 no. Let's try using guitar string because it looks cool. Sod it. Use a bit of wire. Sod using a guitar string. That sometimes normally works. That guitar string must have been off. Need a bit of wire. Any bit of wire. Black bit of wire ideally. Where's my rondelle of black wire? I'm just connecting this to earth and doing anything interesting at all. This is not wanting to work at all, is it? Why not? What's going on? Right, the plastic off the other wire has affected this. I don't want to melt the switch. You have to be very careful. These things are not super durable. They're not super expensive. They're cheap as chips. Who's fed up? Me. Why is it not just easy? Why am I having so much trouble trying to solder one stupid wire on? It doesn't look like a great connection. It's rock solid though, but still. I think I want to earth this to something just because I can. What if I snip a wee bit there and then run an earth over the top? So I'm trying to do fancy stuff, which is not always a good idea. Yeah, it's that whole thing. I remember was it the guy who makes Tumnus pedals? The guy's name might be Tumnus. He was talking about this company that made pedals like the big glass cabinet in the back, and he just loved looking at it because it was like it was pure arty the way they'd stuck the components together. So it's like, yeah, make the cables go in funny directions and make it look cool. That's got to be better, doesn't it? In case everyone decides they're going to look in the back of this guitar, and look at it and go, oh, that's quite clever. Look the way that string goes round there like that, then round over the top, and then comes off as the earth. Like, yeah. Superb. Right. Get unzoomed. That's pretty much it. All I've then got to do is put the pot in. That's going to be just a case of sticking the pot in and running the hot wire, which is well, that's earth. That's got to be earth. So where was the wire that was going to the tone? Oh, the tone was coming off the volume control, wasn't it? So it needs another wire. Let's put another wire on. Doesn't need to be particularly long. That's why there was that wee stupid extendy bit, because it was wired up 50 style. I wonder if it was wired up 50 style because of that B250 pot. Maybe that was something to do with it. Maybe that's a sensible thing to do, I don't know. But anyway, I didn't think it sounded that good. I think it'll sound better now. Although I'm going to have to put strings on this. I think the strings are ancient. To be honest, I think Wayne only bought it because he's like, oh, it's that pure amazing custom thing, can you pick it up for me? I think he bought me a kebab for going to get it as well. A Polski kebab. Probably a video on that. Right. So now it goes in, and then we're just going to try and get it so it sits at the right height compared to the other volume control. Mind you, they do have a wee screw in tops, which is quite nice. It does look like it's sitting a wee bit higher, but I don't really care. Did I put a washer on it? Where does the knob sit? It is adjustable. Not that one. That one. Plenty of room. Plenty of room. Don't need to worry about putting a washer in there. This thing's dead handy. Just because it does both sizes of key. Obviously, I'd still have a proper spanner kicking about in case there's a tough to use one, or maybe if you're working on a really expensive guitar. But mind you, this is really expensive. Right, so you got to put that at full, and then you got to come in from the top because it's got a notch on it. So I'd like that to be there. I do think there's a better knob to put on this. Raise that one up a little bit. It's just a little bit scrapey on the body height. That's good. Same with this one. The good thing, because these are the ones that screw on, is I can set the heights of them so they both look exactly the same profile, but this one pulls up. Yep. And then these are both earths, so there was absolutely no point in me having that extended black wire that went to the top of the pot at all. That I thought looked fancy and all that, so I'm just going to cut that off. Where's my snippy dips? Yep. So that's completely useless. You should put them on at the end. That's fine. Those two go on at the end. That goes on there. That we've got the output coming from. That doesn't look like a good connection there onto that. Yeah, that looks a bit shit, isn't it? Okay, right, so I've not even had a look to see what's really going on here. I mean, I'm assuming those are the tap wires. They've got to be. So one's the pickup, and the output. The pickup is that red one, which goes to here, and then comes out there. Right, I'm going to swap that over because I'd rather it was the other way around. Do I? It doesn't really make any difference when you go in and out. In and out, and... No, that's fine. I'm alright with that. Alright with that. So I'll just run this to the output. I did say that didn't look like a very good connection. I think it kind of looks a bit more what do you call it? Wrapped on rather than actually soldered. Let's get a big blob of solder on there to absorb it with the solder that I had in my hand 2 seconds ago and have now lost. We spent a lot of time making this guitar and didn't really do a very good job of soldering it. Yeah, let's get them stuffed out the way and get these coil split wires on, which are going to be a little bit fidgety because they're quite low down. Wrapped up in tape. These, cloth tape. And I don't really care which is which because I'm just going to coil tap both of them. Although technically I could, you know, make it so it's the inner coil, outer coil, blah 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 blah. But if these pickups, I'd imagine Kent Armstrong knows what he's doing. These will automatically coil split the way we want them to. Because actually, my favourite solution to it would be to have you revert. I did it with the corker. So when you're in coil split mode, you get the different pickup than the one you would expect. Sorry, this is the point where I'm actually thinking. So just bear with me 2 seconds.